APB, or All Points Bulletin, is a fast, easy, and effective way to send personalized messages to many contacts at once, to deliver important notifications, remind contacts of appointments, or deliver information by voice, SMS, or email. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the system. Starting at the APB home screen, type in your username and password and click Login. Here, you are led through 3 steps to send your message. First, build your script. Here is where the personalization happens. By using these keywords in brackets listed on the right, you can insert variables into your script that will be personalized for each recipient. For example, suppose we enter this script. Hello, name. You have an appointment on day at time on a Dow. Have a nice day. If the first contact in your list is named John and his appointment is on 6/15/2018 at 2 o'clock, the message that John will get will be, "Hello, John, you have an appointment on June 15th, 2018 at 2 o'clock on a Friday. Have a nice day." I'll click Save to save this script. Next, we will select a contact list. There are 2 different ways to do this. You can create a list one by one over here by typing in names. Here, we'll type a phone number or an email address if we want to send this message by email. We type dates in the format month, day, year, and times in the format hour, minute. Then click Add to List, and the contact I just typed in is added to this list. I can continue to type in new names and add them to the list. After we're finished adding names to the list, we can click on Select this list to select this list as the active list. When we do that, the list down here, our active list, will be updated with the list of names we just typed in. Another way to enter a contact list is from a file. We'll start by clicking on Browse. This will allow us to select a text file from our local hard drive to use as the name list. Click on the file that contains your name list and then click Open. Next, click Open File to read the names from that file. To select the file list, click Select this list. And the list of names from the file should be placed down here in the active list. A little later in this video, I'll show you how to view and change the file format for your Excel file. Once you have selected your active list, look at your active list here and make sure that everything looks correct. First names should appear in the first name column, last names in the last name column, phone numbers or email addresses should be in the number column, dates and times should also look correct. Now we'll go to the Test, Send, and Report section. It's a good idea to test your message by sending it to yourself first. To do that, type in your own name, phone number, and a test date and time in these boxes here. Use the same format that we used above when building a list. So for name, put in last, first. Type in your own phone number and a test date and time. Next, select whether you want this message to be sent by voice, text, or email. Keep in mind that if you choose voice or text, the number field must contain a phone number. If you select email, the number field should contain an email address. Once you've selected here whether you want to send the test message by voice, SMS, or email, click on the Test button. If everything looks and sounds good, Select whether you want your messages to go out by voice, SMS, or email to your contacts, and then click the Send button. Finally, you can select a date here, and then click the Report button to receive a report of all of the contacts that were made on that day. The log displayed below indicates what type of message was sent, whether voice, text, or email, the number or email address that was contacted, the duration of the call or the number of characters in the text message, the charge for each message, your remaining balance after each message was sent, and also there's a column for response. If your contact typed anything into the keypad during the voice call, their response, the number that they typed in, will appear here. So, for example, if your message included instructions such as press 1 to request a callback, any contact who pressed 1 will have a 1 show up in this column. Keep in mind that messages won't show up in the report until they have been completely delivered. So if your message is lengthy or if you have a long list of contacts, it might take a while for all messages to show up in the log. Come back later and click the Report button if it will take a while to send all of your messages. That's all there is to sending messages. Next, let's take a look at your setting page. Up at the top of the screen, click on the Account Settings button. Here, you can view and change your settings, including the format for your contact list files. Each of these drop-down boxes here represents a column in a spreadsheet program like Excel. Right now, my format has last name, first name in the first column, the number or email address to be contacted in the second column, the date in the third column, the time in hour, minute, and optional AM, PM in the fourth column, and I'm not using the fifth and sixth columns. It's okay if you have more columns than this in your spreadsheet. You just have to include at least these items in this order. So, for example, my Excel file should look like this. Here, my Excel file includes last name, first name in the first column, number to be contacted in the second column, the date, and the time following. You can change these columns to be anything that you want to match the format that your spreadsheet currently has. Make sure that you have in these columns at least whatever variables you use in the script in the previous page, and also make sure that you have one column that is the number. If you do not include the number in one of your columns, we won't know who to contact. If you've changed your format here, click the Save button to save that format. Next, take a look at the Separator drop-down box. This selection indicates how the Excel file should be exported. Mine is set to tab, so I should export my Excel file as a tab-delimited file. The way you do this is a little bit different in each version of Excel, but I'll show you how to do it in my version here. I'll click on File, and then Export, and then change file type. I want to change the type to text, tab delimited. And then I'll click Save As. Your exported text file should look something like this, with columns that match your contact list format. If the export automatically put quotations around the names, don't worry about this. The quotations will be stripped off when you upload the file to send a message. Next, the date format shows how the date should be entered in your Excel file. Mine is set to month, day, year, but you can choose year, month, day, or day, month, year also. It doesn't matter whether you enter the year as 2 numbers or 4 numbers. Next, look at the time conversion to speech. This setting indicates how times should be spoken in a call or printed out in a text or email message. Right now, my setting is set to Do Not Convert. That means the time will be spoken or typed out as entered. For example, if the time is set as 4:00, the voice will say 4 o'clock. Or if the time is entered as 4:00 p.m., the voice will say 4 o'clock p.m. Other options are convert military to AM PM and convert military to morning, afternoon, evening, night. With the option convert military to AM PM, suppose you enter the time as 4:00. This time the voice will say 4 o'clock AM. Or if you enter the time as 16:00, the voice will say 4 o'clock PM. Or suppose you choose the option convert military to morning, afternoon, evening, night. In this case, if you entered 4:00 for the time, the voice would say 4 o'clock in the morning. If you entered 16:00, the voice would say 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you've changed any of these settings, click Save to save the settings. Next, you have the option Message Send Trigger. By default, messages are sent only when you click the Send button in the main APB page. However, another option is to send the message at the completion of a recording. Back in the home page, one of the variables that you have as an option in your script is REC, to say or display the most recent recording from when you logged on. To create one of these voice recordings, you call the APB number, enter your code at the prompt, speak your message, and then press the asterisk key to end the message. If you include REC in your script, your most recent recording will be spoken in that place. Now, in your account settings, if you select Send when the Send button is clicked or at the completion of a recording, then as soon as you complete a recording by pressing the asterisk key, not only will your voice recording be saved, but it will also be sent out to your most recent contact list, and your most recent save script will be used. If you change this setting, make sure to click Save to save this setting to your database. If you've changed any of the format options up here, you can see an example of what sort of line of input you should use and what the output will be for a particular script. After you've set your settings however you want them and have clicked Save to save those settings, click the APB Home button to go back to the Build, Select, Test, Send, and Report screen. After you're finished sending your messages, click Log Out to take you back to the Sign In page.